But yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the night, and I thought that I'll do a sewing vlog. So today I am going to sew a blue skirt. It's just gonna be plain skirt, going to reach about a little under my knees. So yeah, lighting is bad because my phone is on low percentage. But yeah, it's basically a navy blue. So I need to thread the machine and wind up the bobbin. So if you even care, you wind up the bobbin first with the thread going here, then and then you turn it here, and then you just stamp on the pedal. So I got the bobbin wind up. So after you do that, you just thread the machine. You have this, and then it goes here all the way down around this, and then yeah, put it through this, and then with this you put the bobbin through this, and there's this cover that you put on top of it, and then yeah, you could just start sewing. Right, so now that I have the machine all threaded and the bobbin is here, you basically just put the two pieces of thread in the same direction, and then you stamp on the pedal again, and it will kind of lock it together, and then you just put this back here, and then you put the cloth and start sewing, and while you press down on the pedal. And there's this, if you could see that, but over here, I don't know if you can see that, but this thing, you basically push it up to push up the needle, and then there's this thing on the side, but anyways, just wind up this to also wind up the needle after you had already finished, and then there's this on the side to just cut off the thread that you don't need, the excess thread basically. This here, this is just like you choose what stitch you want, and also this here to also correspond with that, because the bobbin and the threaded machine I noted, it corresponds to actually make these stitches look or wouldn't work at all. Great, so I just did that, and I don't know if you could see that, but this thing here, it locked the thread together. Now that I've done that, now I can simply put the top on, and now I could start sewing. Also forgot to mention, when you finish doing that and it's locked, you pull it out from this, and then it will just be here. I just put that piece to the back. You obviously have to measure whatever you're sewing, whether it's like a blouse, a jacket, whatever. I showing a skirt, you need to measure, yeah, your waist, shoulders, all like that. Just depending on what it is. And I did not measure yet, so I need to measure. But sewing a skirt easy. You hem it, you just stitch the edges of it so that it will go around my waist, and yeah, that's basically it. Also, do not use this video to learn how to sew. I do not recommend that. This is just me. It's a vlog of me just sewing a skirt, because yeah, also my first time sewing a skirt, fun fact. Also this right under the stitches, I have no idea what this does. I forgot. Yeah. Also, when it comes to measuring, I do not recommend using any random thing. I recommend using a measuring tape or anything that's legit meant for measuring. Do not use some random thing that I'm using. I don't recommend that. I'm just risking it. Another thing, if you're interested in sewing a skirt, I recommend, like, just for easy pull up for like a fasting, I'll just recommend, like, you put an elastic by the hip or waist. Yeah. But for that, you have to gather it basically. So I finally finally cut the cloth. Battery is low, so you can't even see anything. But yeah, I just cut the cloth. It looks extra wide. Where this I don't know what that's called, but where was that ending? It's so much it is. And plus it's double sided. I double it over. So we'll see how it goes. So I just cut the whole skirt. This is how it is. This is it. Time for to sew. Any excess piece that looks too short or long, you could cut it off, because usually when it's sewing that wouldn't look good after wall. Although you're gonna hem it, still it has to be neat. So I saw someone that was looking longer, so I just trim it off. Things like these on the end too, that's a big no. Just trim that off. So update, I did that. I trim off the ends. There's stuff on the floor. Also about it being wide, that was just deceitful. I literally like put it over me. It legit was only the front, bro. Well, that's great. It was double sided then. It was legit half of me. We throw this away. No, we are finally sewing. We are finally sewing. Okay, so when it comes to sewing, I think, well, no, I know that when it comes to the stitches, it's very important, because like some sew slack, some sew too tight, some sew average. Yeah, it really depends on what kind of fabric it is and what like type of clothes I wearing. Well, going to sew basically. With this, you low-key just sew around it, except the underneath, so the two sides and the hip part or waist part. Well, I'm saying hip part or waist part because it's either it could be a hipster skirt or just like a waist. I recommend ironing. Yes, you should also iron your cloth. No, not people do that. It's like they should do that more. Again, but as I was saying, one side of my skirt already like sort of the way that it was doubled over, like one side already enclosed, so just only one side in um stitch. Also remember where the bottom and the top is. Yep. That would be, yeah. Because if you like legit mix them up, bro, that would be terrible. So you put the cloth here, and the level that I was showing, if you could have even see that, you just pull that down on it. Yeah. I'm actually kind of uneducated on how you fix the hip, but we will see how it is. We just doing and wing it right now. The knowledge that I have from sewing presently, I'm not that good, but I can sew pretty decent stuff, like just basic stuff, like regular shirts. I never tried sewing our pants before, but that looked cool. I wanted to, but I didn't have the cloth for it. So I wouldn't be able to hold my phone while I'm sewing, so I'll just show you after product. Guess who just found more excess pieces and legit cut the underneath so uneven. So I'm gonna use a zigzag stitch, because apparently those are tight. So I put the 3 here, and I also put the 3 here. But I also removed this for the zigzag stitch that I want. That's basically, so yeah. And it goes under the 3, and then I also put the 3 here, or else the stitch wouldn't work. Also, if you don't have the bobbin underneath, the stitch wouldn't work as well. So when it comes to sewing, you have to guide the cloth as it is going, because when you're pressing on the pedal, and it basically moves the needle along with the thread, and it goes upwards, so you have to kind of guide it so that the stitches wouldn't go off where you actually want it to go, and it would just make it mess up and not look neat. Also with the pedal, the harder you press is the faster that will go. So yeah, and obviously the lighter you press, the slower that will go. I'm done. I just did it. Okay, just pull the lever. So whatever excess pieces that you have after you stitch it, you just cut it off on the side with the thingy that they provide on the sewing machine. Also, if your bobbin underneath is running low, I recommend that you wind it up again and do it, because if you're in the middle of sewing and this thing like legit goes empty, it will stop. It will stop stitching. Like that's like terrible, because then you have to rip it out and that just wastes your time. So yeah. Also make sure that this is stable. And it's not like coming out here. Yeah. Now I'm gonna sew the hip part. That was a little shameful. You don't actually stitch up the hip part. So my bad. But if you are using elastic, you can. But you don't usually do that. You just have a little space that you could run the elastic through it. You can always turn it inside out after. So the part that you stitched, it would be inside, and like it wouldn't show. It would be, the stitch would be invisible basically. And if it's your style, you could put like a zipper, buttons, just whatever feels comfortable for you. So in this case, the issue that I have is that the hip is too wide, so I could just take it in basically. Also, what taking it in means is just basically putting a knot. And when you how to put a knot, it's just you put it under this and then you put it, the cloth will go like back and forth, like 1, 2, and then a knot. But you do that only at the ends. Also, I know I did say this before, but I'm saying it again. If this needle gets stick down here, just pull whatever way it is. You can pull out this on the side. So that is legit for the needle. Also, if you are getting trouble to thread the machine, there's this, yes, that metal thing. What a cool environment inside here, but it's that little small metal thing. The curve, you just go over that with the thread and you just pull down, and that's it. If you need irregular scissors to cut the thread as well, if it's like kind of fuzzy, if it is fuzzy at the end, you should cut that out. Yep. You could just use irregular scissors if you don't want to use this, the one on your machine. Your recording just came off, but yeah, I shredded that thingy. If you want, after you shred it, you could try to connect it with the second. Yeah. You do that, pressing on the pedal and make sure that these two are in the same direction. Also, if you are having trouble to thread the yeah, that happens, but you will get there. There are also big-eyed needles if that would help, but on a machine they already provide a needle, so you can't really change that. But like if you like to hand sew as well, just to, like do something, like if something rips or something, you could just hand stitch it. There's the big-eyed needles. I don't know what they're called, but you could stitch them. There's also curved needles. I don't know what they're for, and then there's really different kind of needles. But this is just a regular one, and I think this comes in every single sewing machine. Yeah. Also, it's okay to thread your machine in the middle of sewing, because that does happen. And also the bobbin as well, winding the bobbin. Also, I forgot to mention, when you're finished winding up the bobbin here, the same bobbin that you had there, you just put it here, and you don't put any more bobbin here, because the bobbin is really only to just like put the bobbin here and also here, so that the stitches and stuff will work. And then this is the thread to thread the machine, so that you get the thread to like actually to use these stitches, so that they both go hand in hand. In that sense, like a band, like musical instruments, like the bass and the guitar, like that. Yeah. So if your thread gets stuck here, I just pull this thread forward. It will come out. Trust. You also do have to take it in. I recommend using a stitch pattern that's tighter, which I would recommend these exact stitches. But personally, there's like the others that you can use also. We got Google, we got technology. We just search up like which stitches are tighter than the other one, because there's different types of stitches. There's base stitches, ladder stitch, hemming stitch. Yeah, there's just straight stitching. Yeah, so that's basically different stitches for different things, and also for different fabric. You will get a lot of the fuzzy things on the ends of the thread, but that is completely normal. That happens to all seamstress and tailors. It's just like the most normal thing ever. To also take it in, I would recommend that you turn it over again so that it will be inside, and it would just be a little too bulky if you actually do it outside. So yeah. Random, but did you know that double hemming is a thing? I didn't know that. I was looking at some of my clothes and I realized that, oh wait, this has two. And I'm like, huh? Apparently it's for some style. I don't know. I'm really not sure. Because they got custom, well, used to just one hem across. That's it. But yeah. Also, hemming is my favorite. I love to hem. Yeah, so basically, I thought that I'd like put something to attach so that I could have a belt on as well. Because I realized that even if it was like able to fit, I still would need the belt. So yeah. My nails was getting in the way of me threading machine, so I got it. Actually, first I'll hem it and then do the belt after, but I'll not include it in this video because the rain is falling, so yeah. Okay, so basically if you don't know what hemming is just what you do at the edges of clothes so that it will look neat. So to do that, you just fold it inwards like that, and then you just stitch over it, and you do that for going around it, the perimeter. If you are having problems, recommend ironing it. And like I said, if the ends are like uneven or just doesn't look right, then you can easily just chop it off. You don't gotta cut a lot, just trim it. And put the two pieces of cloth against each other, like so. So you'll just be doing both at the same time. So you don't gotta like, yeah. Question: is sewing difficult? Yes and no. It depends on what you are sewing. Like for me, if you just sew plain stuff, not really like this things with designs and stuff. Like let's say for example, those like I don't know if you know what Rococo art is. The dresses that the females wear, like those kind of like French style. That like would take forever because like it needs so much gold. But you need to know the techniques and stuff. But like just like something plain like this that I'm like making, it wouldn't be that difficult. It probably take you like a day to learn if you're dedicated enough. But yeah, for the most, a week. So yeah, if you want, you could hem it with your hands, like hand hem it. So it looks like this basically. All the ends will look like that, and you just do it straight down. Yes, I know my cloth is not. It's not cut properly. I said that I cannot cut cloth to save my life, and yeah, I just turn it around, and then I'm just gonna turn it over so it like wouldn't show. But yeah, you could do it on the regular side though if you so wish. That's okay too. If your thread keeps falling down, it's most likely because it's too slack on this. Angel here. This is the final product of it. I couldn't talk much about the hemming, but basically, yeah, I double hemmed it as I was talking about. So you just do it twice basically on the back of it, and yeah, it'll just result like that. And it makes the underneath look extra neat. So that was it, and this took me 3 hours to make. So yeah, so worth the time, and Jesus loves you so much. And have a great day.